Hi everyone, it's Kavalhuna, your president. During this season of the year, there are many joyous holidays. This week, some of our community members are celebrating Hanukkah. For this holiday, I welcome back Corinne Asher as our guest presenter. Corinne is one of our business faculty members and my friend, and she has graciously offered to share some meaningful stories about how she and her family celebrate the Jewish holidays throughout the year. The Hebrew word Hanukkah means dedication, and this holiday commemorates the rededication of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem in 164 BC. That year, a group of Jewish fighters called Maccabees defeated the Greek army that had captured Jerusalem in 200 BC. The victorious Maccabees reclaimed the temple and planned to relight its menorah, which was an oil-based candelabrum. They only had enough purified oil to light the menorah for 1 day, but the oil miraculously lasted for 8 days, which gave the Maccabees time to purify more oil. To commemorate these events, the 8-day holiday of Hanukkah was created. It is sometimes called the Festival of Lights. Similar to the holiday of Passover, Hanukkah celebrates freedom from oppression. It also celebrates freedom of religious expression. A centerpiece of Hanukkah is the lighting of the menorah. 1 candle is lit each night, so all 8 are burning on the final night. Families will often gather and recite traditional blessings or sing songs. Many kinds of delicious food are shared, and children receive gifts. Another popular tradition is a game children play with a dreidel, a 4-sided spinner that contains letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Hanukkah begins on the 25th of Kislev, the Hebrew calendar. To all who celebrate, Happy Hanukkah.
Hi, everybody. It's Corinne Asher from BEPED, from Business Economics and Professional Development. It's a little bit dark out here because the only light I have is that from the Hanukkah, and the candles are burning low. But President Kavalhuna asked me to take a couple minutes and talk about Hanukkah. So I'd like to do that with you. And I'm going to tell you about the history, short version, and the food, short version, and the most important part I'm going to save for last. So we're going to go way back in history, and in about 200 BCE, the Greek Syrian king Antiochus III ruled what is modern day Israel and surrounding area, and he was a very benevolent king, and he sort of let people be who they are and what they are. But when his son Antiochus IV took over in 174 BCE, he was not so nice, and he wanted to unify his huge kingdom by establishing one common religion. So basically, he outlawed Judaism, and a few years later, in 168 BCE, he invaded Jerusalem, massacred thousands of Jews, and desecrated the Second Temple. Jews were no longer allowed to study, and but they did anyways. And when they saw the Greek soldiers coming, they pretended to be gambling, and they had a little spinning top called the dreidel, and they would gamble with real money. And my favorite memory as a kid was getting chocolate money and playing the dreidel game and gambling. And depending on where the top fell, you would get to put coins in the pot, or you would get half of them, or you would get all of them, or you would get none of them. And we still do that today. And people who have been in my classes know that I pay students for answering questions with chocolate money. That fortunately you can get it this time of year, and I stock up for the whole year for my students at Trader Joe's and get coins of the world. And everybody always wants the Australian dollars because those are the biggest. The other thing that happened is that a year later or so, a very small family of Jews called the Maccabees led a revolt, and they fought the Greek soldiers for 3 years. And even though they were a small group, they won. And this was the first time in history that people were willing to fight and die for religious freedom. And Hanukkah is still known today as the celebration of the first fight for religious freedom. And that was the first miracle of Hanukkah, because the small group of revolutionaries, which may have only been a handful or two handfuls of people, fought over 40,000 soldiers and won. And then they rededicated the temple, and all they could find was one little jar of oil in order to rededicate the temple. And that leads us to the second miracle of Hanukkah, because the oil was only supposed to last for 1 day. And it would take 8 days to send a runner out to get more oil. And sure enough, the runner returned in 8 days' time with new oil. And the one jar of oil that they found that was only 24 hours worth had lasted all 8 days. So oil and light play a very important role in Hanukkah. So we eat fried foods because of the oil, like donuts and potato pancakes. Here are my, also Trader Joe's potato pancakes. The box is empty. We had them tonight. They were very good. The donuts are gone too. I'm sorry. But food is not the most important thing about this holiday. The one thing that I was taught when I was very young and still remember, that whenever there is light, there is hope. And light dispels darkness. It always dispels and chases the darkness away. And we can all be the light. So my Hanukkah message for you is go out and be the light and scare away the darkness. Thanks for listening, and happy Hanukkah. Take care, everybody. Bye.